After Richter thought I killed Nix, he was very surprised and he said, "Wow, that's a big ass plot twist right there, isn't it, kiddies?" And then Richter said, "Looks like we got a new team member, boys and girls, and he's fucking invincible." And then Richter smirked and said, "It's not looking good for you, honey." And then he looked at my old girlfriend Nova and he said, "Looks like he might murder you too. The kid is a natural born killer. I think I found my right hand man. Bring him to me, I'll pay him more money," Richter said as he laughed. And then Nova said he would never do something like that. "I don't believe it. That woman was pregnant. She had his children." And then Richter said, "So did you, but you didn't tell him, did you? You just kept it a secret that you were pregnant with his children." And Nova said, "Fuck you, asshole. I hope Miles fucking kills you." And then Richter smirked and laughed and said, "I don't know, honey. It's looking like he's smarter than I thought." And he decided to join the winning side. And after Nix DeGravis killed the guards while she was in her body bag with her machine gun, I showed up in a nice car and she pointed her gun at me angry and I said, "The plan worked. I was never going to kill you. Nix, put your fucking gun down. I need to get the money. He needs to believe that I'm actually joining him." And then she said, "I'll wait here. I'm still pregnant and I don't want to get shot anymore." And then right after I got paid the rest of my money, the cops started surrounding the building and immediately the FBI and SWAT surrounded Richter's building. And when I walked in the room to collect my money from Richter, I saw my old girlfriend Nova and I asked him, "What the fuck is this?" And I asked Richter, "What's my old girlfriend Nova doing here?" And then Richter smirked and walked up behind her and then he said, "She has something to tell you, son." And then I said, "I am not your fucking son, you dumb bastard." And then Nix went with her dad and she's safe away from harm. Unlike in the original storyline, Nix survived and she would become my future wife and the mother of my children. And then Nova said, "The day you broke up with me and I asked you to please marry me, I was going to tell you that I was pregnant." And then I said, "What?" And she said, "I kept the babies and I had your children. You had 2 boys from me and they are both strong and healthy." And I named one Baki and one Jack. And I smirked and said, "Interesting, so you brought her here as a hostage." And then Richter smirked and said, "Now she's your victim to kill, not a hostage." And then I frowned and scowled at Richter and then I smirked and said, "Thanks for the money." And then I raised the gun and Nova got very scared. Then I said, "You really are a fucking idiot, Richter. I don't kill innocent people. I only killed dumb fuckers like you." And then I shot Richter in both of his arms, disabling him. And then I shot him in the legs. And then the cops came to arrest all the criminals and they didn't arrest me and I already stowed away the rest of the money Richter gave me. And then I walked up to the cameras and I said, "I'll see all you fuckers soon because I'm coming to arrest your ass." And after I found out that I also got Nova pregnant, she became a part of my family also, and so was Nix. And I actually married Nix, but I never married Nova, but I did make love to Nova like we were married before I married Nix. I got Nova pregnant again and I gave Nova plenty of money to help her out with hers and my children, and I even showed her to start her own successful internet store so she could become rich and stay rich. And then after everything was done and I saved Nix and my old ex-girlfriend Nova, I tracked down all the other people that watched Schism and I decided to completely shut it all down. And I now had $40 million of my winnings from the last Schism tournament and I used that money to start a very successful business on the internet. I made plenty of internet stores for myself, so I am now a rich billionaire with a very successful private investigator business. And I also work for the FBI. I'm a FBI agent also because of my extraordinary powers and abilities, and now the world knows how powerful I am. Thanks to Schism, I managed to bring everyone that watched Schism to justice along with everyone else that tried to start it up again. I also brought them to justice, and then one day I found a way to marry both Nova and Nix and we all lived together happily married and we all retired young, and that's how my story ended.